Alright, welcome back everyone for our next set of 10 battles. I'm going to use a deck that I was hoping to save, but we are getting close to the end of the ladder and I still have some ground to cover. So, kind of works out anyway though, because this was the Pokemon that my daughter said she wanted to see. So we are going with Batman himself, Mega Absol EX. That is who this entire archetype is centered around. There were 2 regional tournaments recently, and Mega Absol made a kind of surprise showing and did incredibly well. So we are going to try it out, hoping that we can pick it up and make it work. The 2 attacks here is the first one, Terminal Period. If your opponent's active Pokemon has exactly 6 damage counters on it, that Pokemon is knocked out, and that's just 2 energies. Then we've got the Claw of Darkness for 3 energy, 200 damage, your opponent reveals their hand, and you discard a card you find there, so you get to choose what you're discarding. And his main partner in crime is the Mega Kangaskhan EX. Of course, for the the Run Errand ability and Rapid Fire combo attack, Run Errand once during your turn. If this Pokemon is in the active spot, you may use this ability, draw 2 cards. You can't use more than 1 Run Errand ability each turn. And Rapid Fire combo is 200 plus. Flip a coin until you get tails. This attack does 50 more damage for each heads. Now, I don't know about you, but I am generally unlucky with coin flips, so I don't get to do a ton of damage on this, but who knows, maybe our luck will change. And then your main support that you've got here, you got your staples in the Latias EX, so basic Pokemon in play have no retreat cost, which is good because everything in this deck is basic. So there are no stage 1s, no stage 2s, so if your Latias is in play, you get free retreat. And the big thing that you want with your Mega Absol is your Monkey Dories, because if you have multiple Adrenabrains, you can move up to 3 damage counters from one of your Pokemon to your opponent's Pokemon, which is fantastic, because if you've got 60 damage sitting around and 2 Monkey Dories with energies, that's 60 you can move over, and then you can use the Terminal Period to knock them out. And of course that's up to, so even if they already have a little bit of damage, if you can move up to 60 onto them, then you're golden. The other things we've got in here, there is the Yveltal. So the deck list that I copied was actually the one that got second in the Brazil Regional, Belo Horizonte, and they ran Psyduck and no Yveltal. Well, Psyduck is pretty situational, and in TCG Live, it has not been much of a factor at all. So I'm going to leave it out, and I'm going to go with this guy because it has a free retreat cost, and Clutch keeps the defending Pokemon from retreating. So you can kind of pair that with the Pecharunt, subjugating change. Once during your turn, you may switch one of your benched dark Pokemon except any Pecharunt EX with your active Pokemon. If you do, the new active is poisoned. You can't use more than 1 subjugating chains each turn. So you can use this chains on your Yveltal, and then your Yveltal will be able to retreat if you need it to, so it keeps you from being stuck even in situations where your Latias is prized, what have you. And then the other Pokemon we've got in here, of course, Fezandipiti EX is great for Flip the Script. Then we've got the Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon. Prevent all damage from attacks done to this Pokemon by your opponent's Pokemon that have an ability. So he can wall a lot of the meta threats. And so we've got this guy as kind of a backup option. And then as a potential closer, you've got the Bloodmoon Ursaluna. Of course, Season Skill attacks the Bloodmoon used by this Pokemon costs 1 energy less for each prize card your opponent has taken. So if they've taken 5, this attack is free. Hitting 240, you're going to knock out a lot of things or be able to finish off a lot of things. And then you can also use the Pecharunt as a last-ditch attacker. Irritated Outburst, this attack does 60 damage for each prize card your opponent has taken. So, good in the late game, even though it is a little squishy. The main thing you want this guy for is the subjugating chains. Let's go to the energy real quick. So you have primarily the darkness. That's going to be powering up most of your guys. You've got a couple of the fighting energy if you do need to use the Cornerstone Ogerpon. And then you have a couple mist energy to prevent your guys from being affected by secondary effects of attacks. So it doesn't protect against damage, but it does protect against things like, the defending Pokemon is now poisoned, is now confused, etc. And importantly, this also protects against Alakazam's Psychic Draw attack because it is considered an effect of the attack, not damage. Now the trainers, there is a wide spread here. And we'll start with the A spec. So this one does run the Unfair Stamp. You can use this card only if any of your Pokemon were knocked out during your opponent's last turn. Each player shuffles their hand into their deck. Then you draw 5 cards. Your opponent draws 2 cards. So this is good for kind of getting switching the momentum of the match. And then if you've got your Kangaskhan in play as well, then you're getting another 2. So you're back to a full hand fairly easily, which also works out with the Cypher Maniac's Code Breaking. Search your deck for 2 cards, shuffle your deck, then put those 2 cards on top in any order. And this one, so we're running Unfair Stamp, not Precious Trolley like some of the other Mega Absol Kangaskhan builds do. And we'll see which one I end up liking more. But you got a lot of the Lilies of Termination. So you're probably not going to be attacking until you're absolutely ready for it, so you can get that max draw from these. Then you've got 3 of the boss's orders. There's 2 of the Arven. And then there's just the 1 of the Ino, so this one's definitely intended to be used later in the game. But, disruption can be really useful. And, we've also got the Penny. So as I mentioned, all of the Pokemon in this deck are basic. So that means that Penny is going to work on any of them. Put 1 basic Pokemon and all attached cards into your hand. So importantly, this is different from the Professor Turo scenario because Turo works on any Pokemon, but you have to discard anything attached. Penny only works on basics, but all the attached go into your hand. So you can use this if you do end up with something getting stuck, or if you've drawn what you need to and now you just want to finish them off. You can remove some of your heavy priced Pokemon out of the game, or use it to kind of shuffle around energy where you need it. Speaking of shuffling energy, this deck does run 2 of the Turbo Energize TM. Search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards and attach them to your bench Pokemon in any way you like, then shuffle your deck. And it also runs 2 of the Energy Switch. So move a basic energy from one of your Pokemon to another of your Pokemon. We got just the 1 Night Stretcher. Got a couple Counter Catchers. Also 2 of the Bravery Charms, because these on a Kangaskhan pushes your HP up to 350. This deck, without the Precious Trolley, you do need the Nest Balls as well as the Mega Signal. So Mega Signal, search your deck for any Mega Evolution, put it in your hand, and the Nest Ball, search for any basic and put it in your hand. And then for, we got 1 Pokegear to search your deck and grab one of your supporters on the top 7. We've got a Counter Gain, which is nice because if you have more prize cards remaining than your opponent, attacks used by this Pokemon cost 1 less, so that can help you out too. We got the Enhanced Hammer in case they have their own Mist Energy, because just like the Psychic Draw, Terminal Period, knocking them out is considered an effect. It is not damage from the attack. So you use the Enhanced Hammer, you remove that Mist Energy, and now you can knock them out with your Terminal Period. And then the very last thing here is the Town Store. Once during each player's turn, that player may search their deck for a Pokemon Tool card, reveal it, and put it into their hand. Then that player shuffles their deck. So that is the whole deck. We'll try it out. We'll see how it does. I may make some adjustments to the card counts, but overall, I do like this slightly more streamlined version than the one that Tord Rekliv pioneered. Even though his 60 did get 3 top 8 placements in Milwaukee, this one did make 2nd with that exception of me switching out the Yveltal for the Psyduck. But we'll try it out. Hopefully we can make it to the Master League tier with this, and just in time for the reset.